Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be my spoiler-free review of Black Adam. This was something more than a movie for me. This was actually my first ever movie premiere. The Rock's been doing a global tour promoting Black Adam, and I was lucky enough to be invited to the Canadian one. It was right in downtown Toronto, and it was a great experience. If you guys want to see the whole vlog of that day, make sure you check it out on my other channel, which is Austin Meds. But right now, let's talk about the movie itself, because I had a blast watching it. Now, what is the Black Adam movie? Well, I'll tell ya. So the overview for the film states that in ancient Kahndaq, Teth Adam was bestowed the almighty power of the gods. After using these powers for vengeance, he was imprisoned, becoming Black Adam. Nearly 5,000 years have passed, and Black Adam has gone from man to myth to legend. Now free, his unique form of justice, born out of rage, is challenged by modern-day heroes who form the Justice Society of America, aka Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone. Yes, the JSA is in this movie, which if you guys are big DC fans, you know how important that is going to be for the DCEU. We've got some really great characters that we're going to talk about in this review, including Dr. Fate and Hawkman. So the way that I like to structure my movie reviews is basically talking about positives, then negatives, then giving you my review at the very end. So let's go ahead and start off with the good. So my first positive is the characters in this movie, because they are very, very good. You've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Black Adam. This guy's been wanting to make this movie for over 10 years. He has so much passion towards this project, and if you guys haven't seen that passion, just check any of his interviews. You can tell this man is just so happy that the movie is finally out, and I absolutely loved him as Black Adam in this movie. He's very menacing. He's actually pretty funny, which I wasn't expecting, but he is overall just a complete badass. Black Adam is very, very OP. He's essentially like a magic Superman, and this guy doesn't just allow the criminals to go back on the street and continue to do bad, which is something that a lot of people have criticized Batman for. Like, he, goes after the villain and then puts them in Arkham Asylum, they break out, kill more people, and then it's just a cycle. Black Adam doesn't do that. This guy goes after the bad guys, kills them, wipes them off the board, and you don't have to worry about them ever again. And I like that aspect of his character because he does things differently. He's an anti-hero, so he's not like fully a hero, but he's also not fully a villain, which makes him very, very interesting. And I absolutely love The Rock in this role. Like, I can't wait to see him again in future projects for DC. The passion is there, the performance is there, the superstardom is there, and I'm hoping Black Adam does phenomenally on its opening weekend, because I feel like this movie is kind of like a make or break point for DC. So I'm hoping that The Rock can really make this thing sell, which so far he's been doing a great job doing just that. Everybody is talking about this movie. Everyone is talking about who might be in the movie. Obviously, I'm not going to talk any spoilers in this, but he is doing a great job marketing this film, and he plays a great character, which is Black Adam. The next character I want to talk about is Hawkman. He is awesome in this movie. He is also a badass. I love his costume design, his powers, the way that he can use his nth metal mace, which turns into an axe. It was just so cool watching him fly around and fight Black Adam, and it's a pretty exciting time to have Hawkman in live action in the DCEU. He's played by Aldrich Hodge, and I think he did a great job bringing him to life. The next character I want to talk about is Dr. Fate, played by the one and only Pierce Brosnan. He did a great job bringing such an amazing DC character to live action. His suit looks so cool, his powers are so cool, and he's just such an interesting character, like being able to see the future, like the potential fates of characters. Like, it's just such an interesting power, and the Dr. Fate scenes in this movie were some of my favorite. Then we've got Atom Smasher in Cyclone. I liked both characters, but I think they needed a bit more time in this movie because they weren't really in it that much. It was mostly Black Adam, of course, because it's his movie, but then they put a lot of the spotlight on Hawkman and Dr. Fate, and then Atom Smasher and Cyclone are like the new members to the JSA, and they're kind of just getting used to stuff and learning how to be an actual member. So unfortunately they didn't get like a ton of screen time, but they did have some really great moments, especially Atom Smasher, because when he goes really big, it is just a joy to watch, and he's actually really funny, and Cyclone is really charismatic. Like, I really like the characters, so I hope in the future we get to see more of them. The next thing I want to talk about is the visuals, because for the most part they were actually really good. There's a ton of different superpowers and things to bring to life in this movie, and I would say the visual effects did a great job bringing those powers to the big screen, and the environments that we visit and everything. Like, everything looked really good in this movie, besides a couple of shots, which is normal in pretty much every movie, but I would say for the most part I was pretty impressed with what I was watching. Next, let's talk about the pace pacing of the film because I thought that was one of the best parts about it. It's really just a non-stop action adventure, but it's very interesting. Like, we're dealing with, you know, the JSA, we're dealing with magic, demons, villains, heroes, anti-heroes. Like, it was a lot of fun, and I thought the pacing was very good. I wasn't bored at really any moment, and I thought the movie overall just flowed pretty well. The only negative pacing-wise that I would have is maybe the beginning. It's kind of exposition heavy, but at the same time, it's really just laying a lot of groundwork so that they don't have to do it throughout the movie. They were kind of just like, okay, we're gonna introduce like all of these ideas right at the beginning. It might get the movie started very slowly, but it's kind of very important information that the audience needs to know, which there's pros and cons to that, but personally I thought it was a little bit slow. But after the first 5 or 7 minutes, this movie really picks up and it just goes full speed ahead, and after the beginning, the pacing really worked for me. Next, let's talk about the story, because I thought it was actually pretty decent for this movie. Teth Adam is such an interesting and unique character, you know. He was a slave in Kahndaq, and then he becomes the champion of Kahndaq, but he's not this true hero, he's an anti-hero. Like, it is just a very unique story, and I thought they told it in a pretty good way in this movie. There's some twists and turns that you might not be expecting, and then there's some twists and turns that you will totally be expecting, but overall I was very satisfied with the story, and I was very invested in it. And Black Adam's story is very different compared to a lot of other characters in DC or even Marvel, and it feels pretty fresh, you know. Like, there's not really another superhero movie that I could compare this story to. The quality of the story does kind of dip a little bit whenever you're talking about the villain in this movie, but everything other than that I thought was handled pretty well. The next thing we'll talk about is humor in this movie, because there was actually a surprisingly good amount of it. I never really thought Black Adam, like this super serious, rageful, anti-hero movie, was gonna be funny, but it was actually pretty funny. Like, I think there was 5 or 6 times in this movie where I was chuckling, and it wasn't just like a it was actual laughing, and I was not expecting that. It was kind of dry humor, especially delivered from The Rock, because he is giving you that rageful, almost like monotone style performance, but the lines that they gave The Rock and other characters that were comedic actually worked really well. Myself and the audience I was with was really enjoying them, and it was nice because I wasn't expecting this movie to be funny at all. The last positive that I'm going to talk about in this review is the designs, because there is literally nothing in this movie that I would change looks-wise. Everything looks pretty much perfect. Hawkman, Cyclone, Atom Smasher, Black Adam, Dr. Fate, the environments, the locations, everything looks perfect. Personally, my 2 favorite design choices for characters is Black Adam's final suit and Dr. Fate. Black Adam's final suit is so badass, it makes me want to get the Hot Toys figure of it. The black suit with the yellow lightning bolt, the yellow boots, the yellow gauntlets, the hood, the black cape, the man in black is looking fire. Such a cool character design, and I absolutely love it. Dr. Fate 2 looks badass with the gold helmet and the blue textured suit and everything. Really, really great designs in this film, and visually it was just stunning. There's one other thing that I want to say before we get into my negatives, which is that this movie feels like it came out in the early 2000s. I know some other people have been saying that, but it truly does. Like, there's dialogue in this movie where I'm like, damn, that sounds like it was written in 2005. And to me, it's not really a negative. I actually enjoyed that feel. It just felt like an old school comic book movie, but with like modern day effects and everything, and I don't know, I liked it. Now on to the negatives. Now, there's not really that many, to be completely honest, but there's a couple. So first, let's talk about the villain, because that is my first one. I thought the villain was okay. Like, on paper, I think this villain actually works really well. But after seeing him in this movie, I'm kinda not let down, but not liking him as much as I think I could have. I think it was kind of quick how he became the villain and had to fight Black Adam and everything. I don't know, it just felt kind of weird to me, the way that it all kind of happens, and it's not really explained that well. And the CGI on him is, I don't want to say terrible, definitely isn't like phenomenal, that's for sure. In some shots, Sabak kind of looks like a PS2 or PS3 cutscene villain. Some shots look alright, and it's kind of wishy-washy, and I think they should have made him look a little bit more practical, because it is just like overly CGI, whereas sometimes it doesn't even look real. So that's my first negative with the movie, is the villain and the overall look. And my second negative is the third act, because it does get kind of messy, which is a tendency see with comic book movies, like everything just kind of leads up to that third act and then it's kind of like a CGI slugfest. And some scenarios that lead up to that are kind of lucky, meaning things just have to kind of fall into place for this final act to happen. And Black Adam was a movie that has this, which made me not like the third act as much as I wanted to, and that was mainly due to the villain in this movie. It's not terrible by any means. I know it kind of sounds like I'm saying the third act was terrible, which it wasn't. It was just not as great as I was hoping. I think the ending was the weakest part of the movie, but overall I did really enjoy it, and that's why I'm gonna give Black Adam a 7.5 out of 10. It's not amazing, it's not bad, it is a good time. Also, if you go see this movie when it comes out next week on October 21st, make sure you stay for our post-credit scene because it is gonna break the internet, which it already has because of the New York screening and now the Toronto screening in Atlanta and Miami. Everyone is talking about this movie and they just don't care about spoilers. So if you don't want that post-credit scene spoiled, I don't really know how you can avoid it at this point, but if you can and then go see the movie, you will be very surprised, and the future of the DCEU does look bright. So yeah guys, I had a great time at the Black Adam Rocks Canada event. It was awesome seeing The Rock in person. He was literally inches away from me. This is one of my favorite DCEU movies hands down, and I need that Black Adam Hot Toys. It is so damn cool. The Man in Black has finally hit the big screen, and I can't wait to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam again. So guys, that is my review. Let me know your thoughts about the movie down below in the comments. Tried to keep it spoiler free. Also, make sure you go check out my vlog on the Austin Meds channel for the whole experience of Black Adam Rocks Canada. It was so cool. There were so many amazing things and I met some great people. But yeah, this is the end of the video. This was my Black Adam spoiler free movie review. Thank you again for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Other than that, I hope you guys all have a great day and I will see you guys in the next video.